Next up, let's go to our... Let's see how these machines work here. Let's go to our wild card line. Welcome to Coast. You are on the air. Hi there.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
George, you're right on the money about talking what you're speaking about tonight about world leaders. And a few years ago, there was a book circulating around in our community, and it was taken off the shelves, we were told, by the RCMP. But it named all the leaders that you spoke about, and even Dave Suzuki about the world population and what they had planned and what they thought.
Which book was that?
I can find out the title because I know one girl who still has it.
But the Conspirators' Hierarchy of the Committee of 300. Does that
Yeah, the Committee of 300 was one of them, yes.
Well, I published it, so there.
Oh, you published that one?
It's on my website.
Okay, and it really broke our hearts because it was so disappointing and depressing. And no, it did.
Just be realist. Look at it. If you're working in whatever job you are, so you can keep going, either to supply the money for your family, whatever, and you try to get a promotion all the way up to the top. When you get to the top, and what else is there after that? It depends on your spiritual, your leanings at that point.
That's what I mean about the spiritual part. When you said there's spiritual laws, I agree 100%, and I believe in God, and I believe in Christ, and I believe that they're in control.
Well, be careful, because remember what I said, John 1, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God. In the beginning it was thought. So if you look at that as a contemplation of God, or the creation's thinking, it would be God. But since you're an extension of that thought, even Christ said, what I do, you can do and greater. Isn't that right?
George, what would you do if your telepathic thoughts with them just simply stopped? You weren't getting anymore.
Well,
what would you think?
I would no longer be in this dimension. Because as you put out any kind of thought, George, even your thought is emanating all over the place. If you're in a crowd, your thoughts are actually going out to everybody. The trouble is that we can't tune into them yet. We've learned how to speak and listen, not from the thought level. If we all went to the telepathic level, we probably wouldn't be in the troubles we are today.
So you're not expecting them to simply cut you off?
No, they won't do that at all. I don't get contact at all. I mean, my messages say, they say I make mistakes once in a while, but nothing materially. I'm acting as their spokesperson. That's what they're telling me right now.
You get along with them, huh?
Yeah, because I'm doing exactly what I agreed to do. I mean, very few people do that, and there's no remuneration. I'm not asking for any rewards. I'm not asking for anything. I'm very concerned about mankind, and I'm trying to help mankind in any way I can. And it isn't just giving money, because that doesn't do anything. That's been an illustration of all of society all the way around. That hasn't done it. Giving knowledge is the way, so people can then take care of themselves.
Well, of everything that they have told you, what do you find to be the most enlightening, personally?
In the Spiritual Laws book, there's a section in there. They told me when I reprint it, it really affect a lot in it, because it's a section called How to Recognize the Antichrist Within. In other words, every action that we do affects yourself. I'll give you a better idea. You yourself go into your bathroom tonight, or wherever you are, and look in the mirror at yourself. And I want you to just think or yell out loud all the 4-letter words to that being in the mirror, and see what it does to yourself.
Why?
Seriously.
What's the purpose, though?
Well, because the vibrations that you put out are affected on the entire planet. And that's what the purpose is how do we put out our thoughts so we don't cause that out of balance with other people?
Well, and that does happen a lot. West of the Rockies, welcome to Coast. Hi there.
Yeah, hi. I just had a quick question. We've had science say that forensically they found traces of cocaine in the pharaoh's hair follicles, or the kings and queens. And you mentioned something earlier about someone with some white powder. And I had a friend that worked for a major organization through Washington, D.C., and he had diplomatic immunity, so they used to bring back locked on with a bracelet, bunch of that stuff into Washington. I know, it's euphoric thing or whatever, but also causes abuse, would cause debauchery. Do you have any insight on the abuse or the use of that in these higher power broker people, and any insights at all on that?
Well, I have a friend by I don't know, That's what he used to be a friend of mine. He was CIA. He brought in 22 tons of cocaine. His name was Chip Tatum. You can pull him up on the website.
22 tons?
22 tons. He dropped it off at Mena, Arkansas for Bush and Clinton.
Oh,
and
come on. George, how can you make accusations?
I'm not saying it's on the web. He did it, and they went after him.
Oh, you're saying what he did is on the web.
You bet. All the information on it. But I had other people that were within the Secret Service confirm the same information that was going down there. I mean, it's a strange deal. I actually published a book called Immaculate Deception, written by General Bowen, who's also CIA, who was involved with the drug thing. I have another friend of mine, his company was taken over by the druggies. He allowed that to happen, and it was run by CIA. And they were using the drugs for distribution to get their black budget. So it's happening all over there.
Whatever happened to this guy?
Well, the one's out of the country right now. One of them's out. If we want to put him on the air, he'll be glad to tell you. He testified in front of Congress. I'll do that sometime.
You know him that well?
Yeah, I know a lot of them that well. I mean, it's just amazing how the interconnections between all sides, that they all know what's going on. It's amazing. I sat in the Russian embassy with the CIA and the FISBA, the new, and the mafia all together, and they all seem to be sharing the same information.
Let's go east of the Rockies. Your turn. You're on Coast to Coast with us. Hi there.
And the mafia.
Turn your radio down a little bit, if you would.
The same information. Let's go east of the Rockies.
Well, goodbye to you. We have to do that, George. If they don't turn the radios down, we get this horrible feedback.
Yeah, I heard it.
Back in my ears, and I don't want that to happen. Let's go to our wild card line. Welcome to Coast to Coast. Hi there.
Hello, Mr. Norrie.
Yes, sir.
Hello, my name's Jason. I'm in Portland.
Hi,
it's a
Jason.
pleasure to talk to you and Mr. Green tonight.
Likewise.
I heard you comment on the red, blue, and green strobing lights that we can see with the naked eye.
Yeah, they look like planets, right?
I always thought they were communication satellites. I've been watching them for years.
They'll be sitting in one place. Look at them.
Well, the very first one I saw actually would move over the course of an hour. It was like trailing the west coast of the United States from north to south, and I was wondering...
Well, some I'm not going to deny that. There are some, but they're big, huge, craft that are out there, and they just have them strobing so you know they're there. They even tell us that the moon is an artificial satellite, and it was set into motion to give us the second... basically free energy. Did you know that?
No, and I had a couple other observations just real quick. I was wondering if you could comment on. I've been fortunate to see a couple UFOs, and one streaked across the night sky. I could tell it was a really super high elevation because of the trajectory that it had as it left the site, and it was moving really fast. There were 4 what looked like regular white stars with various intensities, and after the ship had streaked across that path, these 4 lights that I thought were stars because they were pure white changed their intensity. They got brighter. 2 of them in particular got extremely bright and then came back down, and I was wondering if that was something man-made that was monitoring the ships.
I doubt that. I really do. Their devices, the way they have their energy shield, they can go ahead and, be real bright. It's like the light that was over Los Angeles the last couple of days, or all the spacecraft that were over Mexico City a couple years ago. I have a friend in outside of Taos, New Mexico, has a ranch down there, and there's spacecraft that are always coming over down there. There must be some base that's hidden in one of the mountains because he and his wife sit in the hot springs and watch them come in almost every evening.